All right, we're good.
We're not officially recording. You like that? I'm trying out new voices.
How many voices do you think you have, Matt?
I don't know. Probably a lot. This is my natural speaking voice.
Natural.
I have to modify it though. I have to modify it a little bit so it doesn't sound geeky. Well, I wanted to bring up this topic about conferences in the arts because it is dull on the surface, but I feel like we can have an engaging talk about it. The benefits and the pros and cons. And I'm bored already talking about it. I have a special surprise for today because we have a topic that is super boring.
Yeah.
Who thought of this topic? My special surprise is that I have a special guest joining us. Surprise mystery guest.
Really?
Joining us. Yeah.
Oh my God.
At 1 o'clock. You won't believe who it is.
I don't know. So I'm not even going to guess.
You don't have to guess. I just break it to you right now. It's going to be Jeannie Bowerman, who is a self-professed conference junkie, and no one knows this topic better than.
That's so funny because when you proposed this topic, I was like, we should ask Jeannie. But then I thought, well, she's probably busy with her own podcast. So why would she want to come on this one?
Yeah, she is busy, but she can juggle.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. She can pop into the studio.
Sweet.
Really quick. There's a studio.
There is. It's a virtual studio.
Yeah, whatever. Pre-recording, I was notifying Michelle that I'm going to be a little off today. More off than usual.
Yes. We won't mention why.
It's just terrible social sickness.
I have work sickness.
Well, what's the deal? What's the work sickness?
Oh, can I just complain about the U.S. visa system for a second?
Hey, this topic's getting hot. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm providing opportunities to Ukrainian professors, researchers, and academics who currently are, well, without a job, essentially, because of the war in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting 1 year full-time appointments at UT, the University of Texas, and it's a pretty big endeavor. The whole campus has kind of contributed in some way. So
how many Ukrainian I don't want to call them refugees. They're not refugees, right?
They are. No, we're not calling them refugees for sure. We're calling them visiting scholars. But yeah, so some of them are already here successfully, which is great. Yay. Mm-hmm. Some of them, however, are stuck in Germany. One in particular. Mm-hmm. So she went for her, you have to make an appointment with the local US embassy. And you have to go for an interview, basically, in order to get your U.S. visa as a foreign national. So we had made her an appointment, which was really hard to do in the first place. She takes her 15-year-old daughter. Mm-hmm. So it's just mother and daughter. Her husband is stuck back in Ukraine. He's fighting and can't leave due to martial law. But the embassy asked her, so what is your profession? And she says she's a geneticist. Then he says, oh, I want more information. And he sends her away, her and her daughter away, doesn't take the passports. Mm-hmm. And so now we are completely off our game. I had already bought them their flights through the university and everything. And so we're just like in limbo now. She's like living in someone else's house, sleeping on a couch. And we're just waiting for the US embassy to decide that they're going to maybe see her again. Mm-hmm. But what's bad is that they gave her wrong information. They gave her a sheet that was a sheet of information that had like a website probably that was used back in 1995, and there was like a fee that she had to pay. Also wrong fee. It's like $60 more than they said it was on the sheet. Mm-hmm. So this is all just like old, outdated information. I mean, these are non-immigration visas as well. So it's not like they're coming here to stay here forever. Yeah. They're coming here just for an exchange program.
Yeah.
So it's like, why are you giving a geneticist a hard time? What is she going to come here and do? Engineer a virus? No, she's not.
I mean,
that's not what she does.
Wouldn't she? I've trivialized this whole experience for you. I'm sorry.
No, it's great. I need to laugh about it because otherwise most days I cry. So yeah.
Oh God. Don't cry, Michelle. Well, it's tough on them because it's already stressful to begin with. And when they don't know what their near future holds, then I can't imagine.
I know, it's stupid. It's not even like we were asking the US government to pay for these people. No, we've already given them the job. they've got the job, just let them through, please.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Give me their number. I'll give them a ring, and
okay.
we'll get
Sounds
to the bottom of things.
Mr. President,
I think they're trying the number.
So I was at the Writer's Digest conference a week or so ago.
That's right.
Fabulous New York City. Do you like New York City?
I do. I've been there a whole bunch of times. But like each time I go, I know more and more about it. And therefore it doesn't feel quite so amazing as the first time. But yeah, New York is great. My husband's from New York. He was born there and raised. So
in Manhattan?
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite block in New York? You don't have to answer that. Look, so I was at the Writer's Digest conference, and it went very well. I did a panel with our book pipeline exec, Peter Malone Elliott, whose podcast you should also be listening to through Pipeline Artist. So I was there. It was wonderfully done. I'm curious, though, what conferences have you been to and what positive things you have gleaned from them?
So I've been to a lot of conferences. I am not a conference junkie as Jeannie is. However, I've been to the ITW Thriller Writers Conference.
Wow, that's a big one.
Yeah, that's a huge one. And been to it 3 times, I want to say. And the main benefit that I got out of the ITW conferences is just the networking. And I think that's really what conferences are ultimately good for, is connecting with people that you're not going to normally meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I particularly love international conferences for that reason. So I got to meet a lot of authors from like other countries too, and that was really cool. And then of course I got to meet like Lee Child and or R.L. Stine and people like that who are like, I definitely would never run into them on the street or anything like that. But then Lee Child is over there, he's super tall, by the way. And he's like, so where are you from? And I'm like, you want to know where I'm from? So no, and I love his accent. He's so great. He was so nice, like really, really nice guy. And I think that's the other benefit too. Is like you meet, at least for a conference like this, you meet some of these people.
No pun intended, but you get a thrill from meeting all these thriller authors.
You get a thrill, but then you also realize, wait a second, they're super normal, and or some of them are normal. But you're like, oh, you just go have a drink with them or something like that, and you're like, oh, they have like the same problems that you have. They're completely normal people, and so it kind of makes you feel like, for aspiring writers, right? It gives you this sense of hope, maybe, if you take it the right way, the sense of hope that, okay, well, they're like you can be like them.
Yeah.
Maybe if you try hard enough, you work hard enough, right?
So it's the networking aspect that you feel there's a value there to be had. Here's why I bring this up, and the broader discussion of conferences. I figured you would say networking is the most important component, because it is, right? Is there a place in the world now, though, for virtual conferences? Because once it cycles through the next couple of years here, I think that's where we're going to start going. Yeah. And the reason I think that is because the cost of hosting a conference is so tremendous.
Huge. Yes.
The cost of hosting a virtual conference isn't that cheap either, I'm sure. But it's more accessible for people who can't afford to fly out and stay in a hotel and pay for meals in a big city. That's thousands and thousands of dollars of extra money. I don't see the live conference surviving. I'm making another bold statement. I'm sorry. I don't see the live conference surviving much longer. I think there's going to be a place for it, but you're going to start seeing that universe start to shrink and go virtual. Yeah. Agree?
Unfortunately, yeah, I do agree. I don't think that the online or virtual conference is quite as effective, though, as the in-person one. In certain respects. Obviously, when it comes to panels and when it comes to, individual talks and things like that, when you're sitting and, watching a speaker present or something, or you're watching an expert, like, you don't need to be in person for that. And that is perfectly as effective, I think, in a virtual environment as it would be in person.
Yeah.
But in terms of that other aspect, that networking part, that's definitely something that I don't think the virtual environment enables. In fact, it definitely disables it, because it's so hard, and you don't feel that same level of comfort. I mean, You just look at any, like when university classes went online, right? And you have like 100 to 200 kids. Are they all talking? Are they all mingling? Are they getting to really have personal conversations with the professor or even with each other? Definitely not. It's hard.
Is there a difference though between meeting someone? Let's say you meet Lee Child, right?
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know what Lee Child has written.
You don't? Jack Reacher.
Oh, okay. I've heard of that. I'm a Luddite when it comes to certain facets of genre publishing.
Oh my God. Do you even know what Tom Clancy wrote?
Yeah, I know what Tom Clancy wrote.
Okay, good.
All right, I know who R.L. Stein is, at least.
Great. So you know Goosebumps.
I read all the Goosebumps books when I was...
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say that he pseudo-reflects his books, but no, he doesn't.
Okay. Gotcha. Hear you loud and clear. But if you put yourself in a Zoom breakout room with, a big name author or some industry person that you really want to network with, there is a difference between that and actually meeting that person in the physical form.
Yeah.
But is there? Because this is the defining factor, I think, and where conferences, not just in the arts, but everything is headed. To me.
I agree. The organic nature of running into Lee Child or running into R.L. Stein, there's something about that when it's organic. Whereas where else, if you're on Zoom and you're like, okay, I have a set breakout room time with this author, there's an expectation that's placed on it. It's like, okay, I have to get something out of this. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. There's also something about like human contact and just being in the same room with the person.
You can pick up on social cues.
On their vibes. Yeah.
And you're right. You don't have that forced socialization.
Yeah.
That you would have otherwise.
Yeah. And you're never going to be able to get a drink with somebody. Like, I mean, yeah, you can, but it's different,
Don't you think that's why the metaverse is destined to fail?
I think so.
That's a separate topic.
Yeah, because I was like, well, is the metaverse going to help with online and virtual conferences? Are we all going to don our headsets and be...
Well, so many people don't like Zoom. They prefer in-person stuff. I like them both.
I definitely do too, because I see the value for sure. I love the fact that I can work from home and that I don't have to drive 40 minutes to the University of Texas every single day, sit in traffic in our lovely Austin traffic just to make a meeting with 5 people that could have definitely been an email.
Yeah.
Or a Zoom meeting, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
When I say it's shrinking too, as far as the next 5 years for conferences, I do see a hybrid option there.
Yes.
Where you have a smaller conference, in-person conference, but there is a virtual option that allows people to virtually join in on the live event, which can't be hard to do.
No. It's not. It's very doable. If anybody has half an ounce of technological talent, they can figure this out. We do this all the time at UT. So we have live conferences, but then we also stream people in and everything. So it's like
a robot with a screen that someone's attending virtually and they're just their heads on it and they get to control it and walk around. I don't know.
Yeah, no, seriously. So there's this thing called the Owl that we use. And it's a smart device, essentially a smart camera. So you can stick it in the middle of the table and it will follow whoever's talking. And that will be the display on the Zoom screen.
Oh.
So yeah, it's really cool. So you can set it to multi-speaker mode. So it'll pick up on multiple speakers, or you can just, and it'll follow, if there's a speaker that's moving, it'll follow that speaker. So it's pretty cool. I love it.
Simple
and it's so easy. And you control it from your smartphone and it will connect to Zoom. So
yeah. I'm almost using this episode as a small focus group, because I do want to launch some sort of a conference that we do. It seems like a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of effort.
I love organizing conferences, for the record.
Great, you're hired. Which reminds me, the other benefit for writer conferences, not to stereotype writers, but let's be honest, most writers are kind of insular, right?
Yes.
They're not necessarily, they're social people, but
yeah,
just stepping up and raising your hand in a big conference room and asking a question can be sometimes intimidating because you're not sure if your question is a dumb question or not. We all have that.
And that's always the fear, right? With writers, it's like, we don't want to ask dumb questions. We should know everything because we're writers or something.
I rarely get legitimately dumb questions. Like, you should know the answer to this. They're all like, if you don't know something, you don't know it.
Yeah,
so,
it's okay.
But that hybrid model really opens it up to more education because you're allowing people to kind of break down that wall and have a true open discussion. Actually, delete all this. Actually, cut.
Clean and bright as the sun on the sand. With Tide, things always come out clean and fresh as a sea breeze. Clean. The cleanest clean under the sun.
And we're back.
Wait, I think I hear a knock at the door.
Well, let me open it. Hi, Jeannie.
Hi.
Jeannie Villette Bowerman, ladies and gentlemen. She hosts the podcast Reckless Creatives with Sadie Dean, editor of Script Mag. And she is a pipeline exec. And she's here because I asked her to be. And she was gracious enough to take the time. You were a guest on this podcast before I was a guest on yours, which means something.
When we first started, you didn't like podcasts.
No.
Oh, snap.
You didn't even want to be a guest on one.
I didn't want to listen to
podcasts.
No. Host a podcast. What do I look like?
Joe Rogan?
Let's just take a moment. The moment's passed.
I'm going to sit on these really uncomfortable hand chairs.
That's what hands are for.
I wish this was a video podcast.
It's like a documentary now.
If anyone's wondering, there's antiques in the background and an American flag from like the 1800s. Is that a Confederate flag?
No.
Okay. If an antique's an antique.
But it's a cigar Indian back there, so that's probably going to get me canceled. There's so much in history and antique shops that have nothing to do with writing conferences.
True. We actually we've kicked off the conversation, and I think it's gone actually in an interesting direction because my ulterior motive of talking about this was to really talk about the future of conferences in the arts and beyond. And if we're going to see this sort of consolidation in live events and see more virtual only or hybrid models where every conference will have some sort of live virtual component that goes along with it and runs side by side. Thoughts?
My thoughts are, I'm a practical person. Okay.
Yes.
So the practical part of me is like, go hybrid because it allows people who couldn't afford to travel. It opens it up to so many more people all over the world, who could attend. But then the conference freak side of me, conference junkie, I love them. Oh my God, love them. There's nothing like being there in person. Like going to a virtual conference, you might as well watch a webinar. Like,
agreed.
Yeah. I mean, what's the point? It's like you pay the price and you can get all these recordings or you can listen in or whatever, but it's not the same. There's not that energy. There's not that connection that you can make with people. It's blah.
But could that energy be replicated stop shaking your head, Michelle. Could that energy be replicated if you are able to engage in such a way as if you were actually there? We were talking about the whole metaverse. I like how everyone's talking about the metaverse and no one really knows what the fuck the metaverse is yet. But it's going to be enhanced virtual reality, let's call it, in a nutshell, right? If you have that sort of format or even the precursor to that format, does that help get out of that cultural hurdle of attending a conference through your computer in your pajamas from your house in Western Michigan?
Can Meta Genie be in her pajamas at the conference?
Yes, sure. Well, that's the whole point. You have to dress up to be in the metaverse, I guess.
I just keep picturing, remember when Meta first came out and they showed that sim of Mark Zuckerberg?
Yeah. Awful. He got clowned on by millions of people.
I know.
And everyone's still saying like, oh no, this is the future, man. This is the future. And it's like, you have to get people on board your idea.
Am I going to have to buy Meta clothing to wear?
Yes.
My Meta conference? Like, no, then I'm not saving money if I'm buying Meta clothing. Like, I think this Meta thing, okay.
We're on a tangent now.
Live life, like see people, experience life, off of your computer. Like, I mean, to me, like the conferences are a way to, okay, the business genie is like, oh yeah, hybrid all the way. Like you got to like make it open to as many people, blah, blah, blah. But the genie who is not on the business side, who would attend a conference, 1,000%, I would go in person. And I'm certainly not going to pay the same price to do hybrid as I would in person.
Oh no.
Like, because it's a completely different experience. I might as well just wait and buy your webinars on demand.
Right.
Even if you made it so that, I'm not playing devil's advocate, I actually do believe this is kind of the way to go. Let's say you had a panel where we talked about adaptation for film and TV. We talked about novelists kind of breaking into the film and TV writing world. Could that have been a virtual panel? And there'd be a moderator fielding questions from the remote attendees, and they get their questions answered live, and there's that interaction. Isn't that the same as being in the room?
Do you know what that's called?
No, what?
Symposium.
Oh, you mean what we do through Pipeline Artists?
Exactly. That's what that's called. You go.
Did I just pitch? I think I just pitched an idea that we already launched.
Already exists. Wow.
You just justified our entire division.
I swear to God, this was not like a plug for Symposium, but you're right. I guess that is.
That was a very backwards plug, but okay.
Hey guys, symposium.pipelineartist.com. Check us out for upcoming events. Yada, yada, yada. Yeah, I guess you're right. But look at it. Take the Symposium model that we're already doing, I guess. News to me. I don't really work for this company at all. Take that and just expand it, right? But also have a live option too, where it's smaller though. So the costs go down. The prices for badges and passes hopefully go down as well. And you have, again, this hybrid where it's a trimmed down conference with a virtual element, and you have either option. That way it makes it so much more accessible to people who there's no way they can afford to go fly out to Austin or go. I couldn't afford to go fly out to Austin this year for South by Southwest, right? And get a hotel and pay $1,500 for the badge and, take 4 days and kind of throw myself into that 5-day traveling conference world, right?
The thing about conferences that it takes the virtual world into the real world. So say all these people from Twitter or Meta or whatever.
Right.
And then it's an opportunity to meet people in real life, see the whites of their eyes, get some spidey senses, know if they're a freak. And a lot of times there's opportunities like, okay, let's just take writing, for example, let's just focus on that. There's opportunities for pitching. There's opportunities for all those other things that it's not the same. I mean, I did speak with a bunch of agents in the Pitch Slam room at Writers Digest conference and asked them about the experience for them being in the pitch room and what that's like for them, as opposed to just getting a query in their email box. And the basic consensus was the query gives them an idea of whether the person can write, like if they're typos, if they pay attention to detail. So there's a little value in that, but it doesn't give them an idea if the writer's a freak. So if they see the person across from them and it's just 3 minutes that they have to talk to them, they get a kind of feel for whether they're going to connect or whether, it's somebody who's passionate about their work, somebody who would be good at a book signing, somebody who, whatever,
right,
knows how to present themselves and understands their story enough to have a conversation about it. But then they just hope that the submissions that they get in that they've requested match the
match. Yeah.
Because a lot of times they don't. But the other part about conferences is artists meeting other artists.
Mm-hmm.
Like you get to bond and meet people and experience other people's work. If you're at film festivals, if you're whatever, like it's just not the same and virtually.
Isn't pitching kind of the same? But I mean, what senses are you losing virtually as opposed to in person? There's sense of smell and taste, and those don't really come into play. Hey, the former maybe. But that doesn't really come into play otherwise.
When you're in the pitch room, you can watch them all around the pitch room. There was one year at Pitch Slam where there was a writer who was like huffing and puffing and being really, and actually this year too, standing in line, and the other agents were watching this person being really rude and impatient. Mm-hmm. And they're like, I don't care what kind of book she has. I'm not interested in signing her.
Mm-hmm.
There's things you pick up watching people, their body language and everything in a room.
I can't believe I'm on team virtual metaverse here, but I really just do see that it's going to become unsustainable at some point. These big conferences where they're charging this much money when you can get a lot of that information another way. But you're right, you can't get that same exact networking feel yet without going to the conference live.
There's also the argument for virtual that there's a lot of people who don't want that human interaction.
Yeah, we talked about that before.
Or like they've gotten so used to being in Zoom that I think people are very comfortable with it, and, all of that. But I don't know. I feel like there's going to be a way that makes it work. And I think business-wise, it makes a lot of sense to give that option to people. I still prefer in person, if possible. But here's the problem with the virtual. They've got to figure out, and it doesn't mean that they can't figure this out. I'm sure they can. You got to figure out, usually when you're at a conference, there's a session and it's X amount of minutes, and then they leave X amount of minutes for questions. In the room, there's a lot of questions. I've never been at a conference where there was nobody raising a hand and they got to answer every single question that they had. Mm-hmm. Now they've got to juggle between, and they can do it. I've seen political press conferences do it, where they take some calls and questions virtually, and they take some questions from the press on the floor. So, I mean, it's certainly possible. It just requires another staff member moderating any kind of virtual questions you have. I mean, that's typically the advantage to go to a live session, is that you get to ask questions.
Yeah.
Where it's like on demand, or, you don't necessarily get to do that.
Okay. The debate rages on.
I don't know if it's much of a debate.
I would really like to do some sort of live event that is a hybrid between in-person real life people and people who can attend virtually. No one's really doing that successfully yet. Not for writing or for filmmaking, at least that I see.
I do like the idea of the multi-mediums, because one of the things at Pipeline Artists is like, we try to get people to try all different things, like cast a lot of, try different stuff. Because you might actually be better at writing a novel than you are at writing a screenplay, or vice versa.
That's right.
So give it a shot.
You create your own city in the metaverse called Artropolis. And there's a little neighborhood for novelists and screenwriters. Cue exit music. This episode.
That's definitely the exit music.
Can't believe I'm supporting the metaverse plan.
Please don't. Can we just stop using the word metaverse?
Yeah, we can. I would love whoever listens to this podcast episode to weigh in and tell us what your thoughts are on conferences and the benefits and pros and cons of virtual and live action.
And what city you'd want the conference to be in.
Yeah.
How about that?
And what part of the city? Do you want it in Midtown, which I love? Or do you want it in Oyster Bay? Huh? All right. Thank you, everyone. Jeannie and Michelle. Your time is valuable. And
we should talk more about your antiques next time. So there's an art to that, obviously.
Oh my God.
The art of antiquities.
Yeah.
The art of art.
Wow.
Sounds meta.
Oh, shut up.